Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric and a continuing series, the Unported playlist, where I take a look at some of my favorite unported arcade games of all time. And today we have Manic Panic Ghosts on the Sega NAOMI. And if you've been following my channel whatsoever, you know I absolutely love Lightgun games, so of course we're going to be featuring Manic Panic Ghosts on the channel. Before we get too far involved, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like, subscribe, and that notification bell definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we have a Patreon link down below as well. So if you've ever played Point Blank, the series from Namco, you're going to understand how Manic Panic Ghosts works right off the top. It is a light gun game, but as opposed to being a campaign mission sort of thing, you're going to be getting different mini games that set you different challenges. And in the first one here, we have to shoot the pianos being held by the ghosts in numerical order, and our goal is to shoot 18 in a row correctly. Anything over that's just bonus points, but as long as we make that 18 boo goal, not the Nintendo boo, the Sega boo, we're going to be able to pass the stage and move forward. You can see we've already done that. The game starts out quite easy, but it actually gets relatively difficult as it moves on. But this is the type of arcade light gun game that is just a challenge-based game, and I really like them sometimes, Point Blank being my favorite franchise of that. I wouldn't say that Manic Panic Ghosts rises to the level of Point Blank, but it gets close. But these are always fun games to play for 20 minutes when you want a just quick diversion from whatever else you're playing. But if you do spend a lot of time to study the game and get better at it, it actually becomes a really good high score challenge. And at each individual stage, it gives you two different doors. Sometimes they'll be marked easy, sometimes it'll be marked hard. In this one, we need to shoot 40 boos out of the clocks without hitting the innocent ghosts, because those are going to give us a time penalty. And it starts off relatively slow, but as things increase in speed, it's going to get quite frantic and quite difficult, and it's really going to give you a run for your money, and I really like that, especially because the patterns are in some ways random. When you start this stage, it's always going to function the same way, but the pattern that the boos come out in will change from playthrough to playthrough, so you can study it a little bit, but a lot of this is going to just be talent-based. You need to get good at the game to get that high score and to see the end. And it was definitely intended, I feel like, for a younger audience, just based upon kind of the animation style, the designs, and the sound effects. But it does get quite hard too, so it's really not sure who this game was made for. I'll let you leave a comment below and you tell me what you think. But whoever it was made for, it is fun, and I will say that this does work with the Sinden Lightgun on PC because I'm using Demule to emulate this. And you can do 2 players as well. It's a little bit of a complicated setup, but if you're used to emulating things, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. And if you need any help, leave me a comment down below, and I'll point you to some articles that'll get you in the right direction. Moving on to another stage here, just having to hit 45 boos before the time limit is over, it gets quite frantic, and I do love how the game looks as well. I love that it has that Dreamcast visual flair that we all know and love, and a lot of the music and a lot of the voiceover have a really nice sound to them, because most voiceovers and dialogue on Dreamcast NAOMI games are quite terrible, but the ghost voices and the character voices in this game are actually really well done, and I commend Sega for finally producing a game that didn't have some of the worst voice acting in the history of video games. But you'll see there, nice, we got 69 boos out of 45, that's what we needed to do for the goal, so we're going to be able to move on to the next stage. And this game really comes alive when you do have 2 players playing, because you're helping each other while also competing for a high score. I've never seen a Manic Panic Ghost cabinet in real life, but the light guns were quite interesting. If I remember, after I do the voiceover, I will leave a link in the description below to what they look like, because just like Sega always loved doing, they created custom light gun shells for this game. And just like Point Blank, some of the challenges are just going to be rapid fire challenges. How quickly can you click that trigger in a row? Because we need to destroy these ghosts before they hit us and take our time down, and we have to get 4 of them before the timer runs out. So there is nice diversity in the stage selection. Sometimes you're just going to be doing rapid fire shooting without having to aim too much. Sometimes you're going to have to really aim hard, and other times you're going to have to pay more attention to what you're shooting at. But I said the dialogue is quite good. Go ahead and listen for like 25 seconds and I'll come back and talk more about the game.
Rubbish. I'm glad to be rid of him, but next turn.
I'm sure of it. That was the young miss. Which room will you try? All right then, we'll enter this room. Please, don't hit my friends.
It really is rare that you get good voice acting in video games back in this era, especially from Sega, but honestly, the look of the cel-shaded graphics and the voices, I feel like Sega could have actually sold this property out to be an animated kid show or movie, because the voices are absolutely incredible, probably some of the best that Sega has ever done in that era. But moving right along, like I said, it's just every stage is slightly different and it is fun. It doesn't have the same diversity as something like Point Blank. You're not going to get as many stages in Manic Panic Ghosts as you did in that franchise, but the ones that are here are quite good and they're always giving you different things to do. Now this is the type of game that maybe I wouldn't recommend you purchase an actual Naomi arcade board for, because you're going to have to get the light guns and there's not a ton of replayability. If you're going to play a light gun game on Naomi, you'd probably want to play House of the Dead 2 well before you played Manic Panic Ghosts. But if you're looking for a new light gun game to play or a new unported arcade game that you've never checked out before, Manic Panic Ghosts is going to be a ton of fun. Now, interestingly, it does have a Wiimote-like aspect to it as well. Here in this stage, we need to drag those frozen ghosts into the flames without hitting our friendly ghost friends that are flying around. Every time you touch one, you lose a second off your timer. And while this isn't the particularly hardest thing to do, when you get to harder difficulties, or if it is hard, there's going to be a lot more of those white ghosts floating around that you do need to avoid before you actually are able to achieve the goal. So it does play around with the mechanics and have that kind of drag and drop nature of like using a mouse. But I love this stage in particular. We just need to shoot food items at these ghosts until they get so big that they explode from gluttony. You've got drumsticks, you've got potatoes, you've got cakes, you've got the classic Castlevania wall meat looking roast, all the things that you know and love from gaming, and you just need to make sure that you don't shoot the iron balls at him because that's going to slow down the exploding factor. But the game is quite cute and I appreciate that as well. It's just a lot of fun to look at. Kind of has a Luigi's Mansion vibe to it. I just wish the game was longer. I guess that's my only complaint about it, is that it doesn't take that long to beat. But the time that you spend with Manic Panic Ghosts is going to be a ton of fun, and this is actually one of my favorite stages here because it combines the accuracy of having to shoot a light gun with the classic memory matching game. And as you get further into the stage, there's going to be a lot of different things to manage, and we need to make 18 matching pairs, and we're going to just be able to do it. So it does get pretty intense, and it is a lot of fun. Now I get it, I am very partial to arcade light gun games. You may not enjoy them as much, so your mileage may vary, and if you aren't into the genre, I've got a ton of light gun games on the channel in different playlists. Just check them out, because this wouldn't be the game I recommend you start playing light gun games with, but if you are into the genre and you've never checked Manic Panic Ghosts out, it is one that I suggest you do play. But like I said, I love the dialogue in the game, so go ahead and listen to it just one more time and I'll be right back and close the video up, but the dialogue is great.
Wait, please! Miss?
You're in my way. Go.
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
I'm not sure what the lyrics to the song are, but I absolutely love them. Like I said earlier, this has all the look and feel of a kid's game, but the boss here, and you can select 2 bosses before you get to the big boss, it is very hard. I'm going to beat him with basically 0 seconds left on the timer. You need to react very quickly to when he turns into a bat to find the right person to shoot, because if you don't shoot the right one, you're not going to do the damage. And you will see here as this timer counts down, I empty his life bar at second 0 and it gives me the win. But then it moves on to another boss, and I will say that this is almost impossible to clear, and that's why it's really confusing. Is this a game for kids? Is this a game for adults? It really has a personality crisis. But Manic Panic Ghosts is so much fun to play. I love the art style, I love the music, I love the dialogue and the voice acting. It is quite good, so if you're looking for a new light gun game to play, especially with friends, you can do a lot worse than this. Short of that, I will be back next Sunday with an episode of the Unported playlist. Do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like, subscribe, that notification bell definitely helps us out. And I'll have videos throughout the week as well. But yeah, I'm going to die on Boss Boo. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.